dollars has replaced the idea of God. With the result, what happened? All other relationships have collapsed. There is no family. There is no idea of family. No one is responsible for anyone. One need not take care of the father or the mother. One need not take care of the near and dear. One need not take care of the infirm and the elderly. One need not take care of the unemployed people. So the idea on which a society is built is the idea of family. Family is the core of a society. It is there the cancer in America started 25 years ago. With the result, today in America, there are more than 1/2 of the American families are single parent families, which is a term used to say that it is a family in which either the father or the mother is living with the children and not the father and the mother together. Either they are divorced or the family never had a father because the children were born for unwed mothers. And 30%, 33% of the pregnants are unwed school-going children. There are creches attached to school. And 12-year-old, 13-year-old girls carry babies in their arms, having become pregnant in school, and put the child in the baby in the creche and attend the school. And in fact, Newt Gingrich in 1994, who was the Senate chairman, equivalent to our Lok Sabha speaker, he said, if 12-year-olds become pregnant, 14-year-olds carry guns and shoot the teacher, 16-year-olds contract HIV positive, 18-year-olds get degrees and diplomas which they cannot read, what kind of civilization are we producing? But the nation did not introspect. The nation trusted the GDP. It trusted the American power outside. With the result, it was like a white ant bringing down a mighty structure. And what is the result of the erosion in families? Erosion in culture, erosion in spiritual values, erosion in human relationship, and relationships were substituted by contracts. The relation within the family between husband and wife, it was no more a relationship of higher order. It was merely a contractual relationship. And they took pride in saying that contracts are supreme and sacred in our society. With the result, relationships eroded. And when the relationships eroded, many people would dismiss it as a cultural issue, social issue, moral issue. But nobody saw it as an economic issue, because if there is no family, if one need not have to take care of his parents, one need not have to take care of his infirm brother or sister, one need not have to take care of his unemployed son or daughter, one need not have to educate his son or daughter. In America, at the age of 16, if a son lives with the father, it is socially demeaning. Are you still living with your father? You are 16. You are supposed to go out and do something. So it became a social virtue not to depend on the family. Be on your own. With the result, everybody disowned everybody. And when the family did not have an objective, it did not have a cultural objective, it did not have a moral objective, it did not have a spiritual objective, so it had no economic objective also. With the result, the American people stopped savings because there is nothing to save for, and they began spending. And they began spending not only their income, they began spending out of borrowing. They began borrowing and spending. You will be amazed to know, credit card was introduced in America in the year 1986. In the year 2001, the number of credit cards in circulation in America was 120 crores for a population of 30 crores. Every person had 6 credit cards. And the amount of debt they owed on the credit cards was 1,50,000 crores in the year 2007. This is not money which they borrowed for making any investment or buying a house. This is money which they borrowed for their day-to-day expenses. And the whole American economy was driven by expenditure, consumption. And through American consumption, the global economy was being driven. China grew, Korea grew, Taiwan grew, Asians grew. Because the Americans were spending money and these people were selling their goods to America. America was borrowing from them and buying and paying for the goods. With the result, it was merely a recycling of money from America, and America began printing dollars and dollars and dollars. Because if people do not save money, the country's banks cannot have money. We save our money and put it in banks. You know, this year, our savings is 7,50,000 crores. This is from families. Our family savings is 80% of national savings. The balance 20% savings is by corporate. Of course, the government does not save. The government always spends. How a culturally driven economy saves and a culturally deteriorated economy spends. And when they began spending money beyond their income, they began borrowing money from the rest of the world. In the year 1980, America was the greatest lender to the world. Today, America is the greatest borrower from the world. It has borrowed over $14 trillion. $1 trillion is 48 lakh crores. So you can understand the extent of money America is borrowing. This year alone, America will be borrowing 150 lakh crores. And in fact, one economist said if America does not borrow money, it will not be able to pay salary to the President of the United States of America. How did this deterioration take place for a mighty power? The deterioration took place because of devaluation of womanhood, trivializing women, destroying family values, disabling elders, and a complete destruction of the idea of family. And in contrast, you see Japan, you see China, you see Taiwan, you see Korea, you see India. These countries are built on the foundation of families. In fact, in America, because the family ceased to be a viable instrument, the responsibilities of the families had fallen on the government. Whether it's looking after the parents or unemployed people or infirm people, people who cannot look after themselves, who the family looks after today in India, a person getting an employment amounts to a family getting employment in India. My son has got employment, I need not worry hereafter. This you can never hear in America. With the result, all the responsibilities of the families fell on the government. Families were nationalized. And when the government takes over the role of the families, becomes the father, becomes the brother, becomes the son, becomes the wife, it is saddled with so much burden, the government has to give up its responsibilities, building roads, building bridges, airports, seaports, railways, bus, water supply, which are all supposed to be the special responsibilities of the government for the last thousands of years. You look at the history of any country, the biggest duty of the state is to provide roads, water, waterways, and those responsibilities the government had to give up, and they were privatized. So it is privatizing the government and nationalizing the families that became the economic model.